Hello everybody. Today I'm going to teach you guys, or I'm going to show you guys how to do debit card frauds and credit card frauds. Now again, this is for educational purposes. This is how scammers take your info. Now I do not suggest that you guys reattempt this because there is legal consequences. So everything that I tell you guys in this video, there will be a YouTube video link in the description below to help guide you and redirect you to each steps that I'm going to tell you about. So first of all, how does credit card and debit card fraud work? So the first thing is to take a user's info. So how do you take a user's info? So one way on how to get a credit card or a debit card information, like the 16-digit number, the CVV on the back, and the name, is to go on the dark web. Now you have to use Tor and you have to go on the Onion router. And I know that this sounds a bit complicated, but everything has a bit of complex to it, right? So when you go on the dark web, it's not the same as a regular Chrome browser or Firefox. It has its own search engine or certain websites that you can go to. Now, the links aren't going to be the same. It's not going to be HTTPS or www.com. It's going to have its own onion links, and that's what they're called. And again, in the description of this video, I have left multiple links on guiding you guys throughout this whole entire credit card and debit card fraud. Uh, and I've done most of the research for you guys, and I also went on the dark web myself. Now, I suggest that you guys don't use a VPN. Anyone that tells you to use a VPN when you go on the dark web, they have never even went on the dark web themselves, right? So these VPN service providers like Norton, for example, right? Norton, like I see Norton VPN service providers like this, the popular ones, they suggest you to use a VPN to cover up your identity, stuff like this. But in reality, these service providers aren't any different from your Wi-Fi router provider, because these service providers, what they do is they'll sell your information and your activity logs from the internet with their VPN, and they'll share that information to other service providers, and it can always link back to you and to the cops as well. And that's a way for you to get caught. So never use a VPN when you do go on the dark web. Now, you do not use your own home Wi-Fi router. So I found this video for you guys on how to set up a SOX proxy. A SOX proxy it lets you change your IP or your proxy address to a whole entire completely different address. This is essential for scammers that commit debit card or credit card fraud, because let's say if a customer or if a client, if like a victim lives in California, right? California, United States, and their credit card is linked to that specific proxy or IP address, you can't just use their debit or credit card in like Texas, for example, because if you do that, the credit card provider can detect that it's coming from a different location, and they'll detect that it's fraud, right? Fraudulent transactions, and they'll lock the card. So what you do is you set up a SOX proxy. This changes your location to the original location where the credit card was made, which was in California, for example. Now, if you do set up a SOX proxy already, you do not need a VPN because you have already changed your IP address. If you want to take other measures like changing your whole, like you can set up your own IP proxies, or you can get like a private network, another private network covers your real IP address. And if you also want to spoof up your computer or your Mac OS or Linux, you can do that. It changes your whole entire device. Nothing will ever be traced back to you. If you are using Windows to go on the dark net, I suggest that you guys use Linux, because most people that go on the dark web that really just never gets caught is when they use Linux. You can't just they can't just track you so easily on Linux, but on Windows or Mac, it's much more easier to track you that way. This is a guide on how to do credit card and debit card fraud. This guy, do not listen to whatever this guy said. Some of these informations he says might be true, but there is some parts where he tells you to use a VPN when you go on the dark web. Do not listen to everything that this guy tells you, because using a VPN, again, I have already told you guys, they could always sell your information. It's a VPN address provider like Norton or, Avast. Like for example, Avast was selling their users' data. And if they do that, you could be fucked if the cops find you. So do not ever use a VPN. Just set up your own proxy. Like in this video, I'll leave this video in the description below for you guys to set up your own proxy. And I will also have another video linking you guys on how to download Tor, which is the dark web browser. Now keep in mind, there is a lot of malicious links on Tor on the dark web. You could always get hacked on there. There are law enforcements just like crawling around on the dark web. I'd say about 90% of the people that you'll ever run into on the dark web is the police. From my own experience, it's someone who works for law enforcement. Now, when I went on the dark web, obviously I went into chat rooms and here and there, but you can never prove that they're a law enforcer, right? Because you don't know truly or not, but it's the way that they talk, it's their manner. You can tell. And so from my experience, I feel like 90% of people that you'll ever meet is law enforcement. So just be aware. Now, on the dark web, since you can't just use like a Chrome browser extension to search any items you want, one way that you could search for any websites you want, like, let's say you want to search up credit card information selling now or something like that, right? You can use a search engine like Haystack, or you can use a search engine like Torch, for example. Now, depending on what search engine you use, it's going to vary on what you can find. And search engines like Amia, so this one's kind of like a user-friendly one. It's the one that you'll use to begin your journey of the dark web. So this one's like beginner friendly. This one, I'm pretty sure this one filters out any illegal activities that might happen. It's just for you to get started on the dark web. So I'd recommend that you guys use Amia if you guys ever go on the dark web and start browsing around. I recommend that you guys use this to get like a hold of things. Don't rush into the dark web because you never know what could happen. So yeah, just be aware that, just it's Amia, right? So this one is more user friendly and there's less illegal activities. But for the ones like Haystack, for example, these ones, it doesn't really filter out any illegal activity. So you could search up credit card information and some credit card information. I'm not sure if they will give you like the exact amount of how much money is in the credit or debit card. You will have to see it, find it out yourself. But usually, if they do tell you, they'll sell it for like $50, and you can have like $1,000 in the credit card, right? So it's a win-win for you. Now the problem with making transactions like this is you need a crypto wallet. So all of the transactions that will be going through from the dark web is like purely online. It's gonna be crypto based. No one uses a debit card on there. It's just so fucking stupid. So they usually accept Bitcoin. They usually accept Bitcoin or whatever currency that they might accept. Some might accept Ethereum. Some might accept Dogecoin, but most of the time they will accept like USDC because USDC is the most stable currency there is. This is the closest there will be to a cryptocurrency that can match the US dollars. There's a lot of stable coins out there, but USDC is usually the one that they ask you for because this one is it's like the same amount as a US dollar, and it's the most stable crypto coin, so it doesn't like lose its value over time, right? And it doesn't crash like most crypto coins. This one just remains at $1 forever. Like there's been crashes on USDC, but it bounced back up immediately. That's how strong the crypto coin is. So most of the time, scammers or people on the dark web will ask you for payments through USDC, but they could ask you for other payments like Bitcoin, for example, which you might not have, so you can always convert it to USDC. Now there is another link in the description on teaching you guys how to set up your own crypto wallet to make transactions with other people. Now it's non-refundable, so if you do get scammed, you can't just like call your bank and say, "Hey, this guy scammed me out of my crypto." Like you can't just do that. Like once you get scammed on crypto, you lost that money for good, right? So and don't worry about your crypto wallet ever tracing back to you. Like it could be traced back to you with enough resources and enough manpower. Uh, you can like spoof your crypto wallet, like change informations about your crypto wallet, right? Like if you open your crypto wallet with Coinbase or Kraken, you could change your information for those ones. But usually, if they do end up finding your crypto wallet and your crypto address, they will usually end up finding your IP address, and that's when you're fucked. And that's why you use SOX proxies to do or to make transactions like these, for example, right? Now, let's say they accepted your money for USDC to buy the credit card or debit card, right? They'll send you the information afterwards. And this is the part where you can go on Amazon.com. You can go on Amazon and you can start spending a bunch of money with debit or credit card that they give you. And you have to enable your SOX proxy because, again, if your location is in California and the credit card is in, like, let's say Texas, for example, the credit card company is going to lock that card and you won't be able to make any purchases towards it. So once the bank locks that card, do not even try calling up the bank unless you have like a burner phone number that you can get rid of, right? Because it can always trace back to you. And I don't recommend you to call the bank anyways because you don't know what type of security questions that they might have, right? If they detect something suspicious, they'll just lock the account until a real person, like the original account owner, can just go out to the branch to unlock it again. And most of the time, the person who has their credit or debit card stolen don't even know that it's stolen and being sold on the internet. So you just have to move quick with this. Like with with credit or debit card purchases. Now you guys might ask like, oh, how do I even make money from this? Like, can I send money to my bank account? No. You can't do that. What I recommend you guys to do is you guys can buy a bunch of shit like a bunch of stuff from like these online sales website like eBay, Amazon with the um with the credit cards or debit cards, or you could use the debit card or the credit card to spend money on crypto, and it's like it has to be on like an untraceable crypto account. And after you spend the money on that crypto account, you transfer that crypto to your other crypto wallet, and that's that. That's one way that they do it. But again, it before you can even spend money on crypto, you have to verify your identity on Coinbase or Kraken. So it also comes at a risk. That's why you have to spoof up your internet, like changing your proxy and everything. But make sure you use Haystack or something like Torch search engine on the dark web to get to the credit cards or debit cards websites where they sell it. Now again, this is a, for educational purposes. This is how they do it. If you do use Amia though, they will um they will filter out most of the illegal activities because I have already used it. Now there are still illegal activities that happens on Amia, but it's not as often. It's more on Haystack and on Torch. And again, there are going to be links below in this video description teaching you guys and redirecting you guys to different YouTube videos on how to set everything up. And once you guys set everything up, you'll just have to go on the dark web yourself and experiment with things. Now, again, I don't suggest that you guys do any of this because this is how scammers do it. If you guys do end up doing it, um, just like I'm not responsible for it. All right, like you guys do it at your own cost. So that's it for this video. If you guys want a video on how to do refund scams on AliExpress or anything, or like show how scammers would do it, then just let me know and message me on Instagram. All right, take care.